It's the 1st of December, and children from schools all over Bristol and Cornwall are linking up via a live web conference. Today is the launch of the 2004 Electric December, an online digital advent calendar.
And then you're going to be showing these children who are down in Cornwall, right at the other end of the country, and they're there at the moment. Look, see them all sitting down just like you are.
More than 200 children have spent thousands of hours with their teachers and different media professionals to create an array of animations, music and games. All these goodies can be accessed via its website. It receives thousands of hits a year from 80 different countries. The theme of this year's calendar was transformation. Children worked on music videos, used software tools and built interactive games. The calendar is an amazing array of creativity. We're concentrating on the work of two groups of children whose schools span the southwest to find out what the inspiration was behind their work. Parc Eglos Primary in Helston, in the depths of Cornwall, created an interactive fishing game. While GCSE art students from Withywood Community School in Bristol took traditional Christmas images and turned them into spooky and sinister creatures.
What's happening to him to change from this Christmas tree, this quite ordinary Christmas tree? How's he going to transform? What do you reckon? What can happen? He's starting with a star on his head.
He's going to be standing in a pot, and then the legs start to split open, then the pot like shatters, and then the roots become his feet.
Working with two multimedia professionals, the students begin by drawing the images of what they want to transform. They start storyboarding.
So what we have to work out is how we get from the Christmas pudding to the monster. And that involves stages in this process of transformation.
The benefits to the school for being involved in the Electric December are that there's probably two sides to it. The first side, it's a good publicity thing for the school. To be involved in something which is a national, or even, no, it turns out to be an international thing. So it's always very encouraging when that school in South Bristol can get involved in that sort of thing. But I think in purer terms, it's to do with giving opportunities to pupils to use their creativity. If it just bursts out, it's just like a present unwrapping, isn't it? Whereas what you're doing here is transforming the present stage by stage. So you've got that, and now you're turning it into your storyboard with the colour.
Yeah.
The concept of Electric December was conceived by the Watershed Media Group in Bristol, which has its base on the dockside. Funding comes in part from the Learning and Skills Council, and the brokering between the schools with good ideas and media artists is done by Liz Milner.
We haven't been able to engage with before. Otherwise,
When we advertise for proposals for Electric December, this year it was in July, we have proposals in from both schools and artists. And sometimes it's just the schools who are keen to take part but don't necessarily have an idea. And we'll have artists who'll be putting in proposals and hoping to work with somebody.
More than 200 miles away from Bristol and deep in West Cornwall is Parc Eglos Primary School. Geographically, the school is situated at the tip of England, so its involvement with this project has value beyond the merely creative.
You know, very soon it's Creativity Week, and everybody in school has a project for Creativity Week. And our idea this year is a little bit special, a little bit above the norm. What we're going to do is we are going to take part in a project called Electric December. It's going to involve you, people, designing yourselves some costumes, and when you've created your costumes, they are going to be part of a game which will go onto the internet. But you're also going
The children's game involves fish and swimming pools. Appropriate not only because they live close to the sea, but also because their school is the proud owner of its very own pool. Year 6 is going to work with a media director, Laura Hardman.
what we're going to be doing today is drawing some fish. So I want you to have a think about what kind of fish you want to appear at the bottom of your ocean in this interactive game that we're doing for the internet. Okay, so here's your first picture of a fish. Now don't worry about my drawing because I can't draw very well. Your drawings are going to be much, much better than mine. So I went into the school, introduced myself, gave them a basic chat about the project, showed them some projects from the year before's Electric December, so that they had a vague idea of what we were going to do. And they really took it from there. So the first stage they went through was to think about what kind of creatures they might want to be underwater. So they did some drawings of those.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about doing it.
So what are you guys doing?
I'm doing a fish that I imagine lives in the mid-Atlantic underneath the ocean.
Ah, that's brilliant.
Well, which fish is this one? This is the
Spotty fish.
the first. Which number 1, number 2, number? This is your first one, so you're starting at B. Well, that makes sense. Okay. Having other people coming in is great. I feel that I learn from it. The children learn from it. They have a rest from me.
Parc Eglos' involvement in Electric December comes courtesy of Creative Partnerships in Cornwall, the scheme that brings together schools and community professionals.
The main philosophy behind Electric December is the partnership between young people and the creative industries and practitioners who are actually out there in the real world working and making creative products every day. For young people in primary schools, it's a chance to explore and to play and really develop their imaginations through using digital technology. And for secondary schools, it's about that, but it's also about raising their aspirations to maybe become part of that industry when they leave school.
So the way this system works is, you've got this toolbar here, and there's a whole variety of things you can do here, and these things here dictate the colour of the line and the colour of the shape. So
Withywood School's art students have finished their storyboards. Now they're moving on to computers and using an animation tool, Flash, to create their visual ideas.
So if you do a square, so select the next button along, that's it. Now bring the mouse down to here, click down on the mouse and keep it held down, and then as you move the mouse down, you'll notice a square appear. Keep doing that until it's the size you want it, then let go. And there you go, it's a square. So try changing the colour of that square. There's a whole variety of things you can do here.
We really encourage them to do all of the work themselves. And I think that's quite apparent, in fact, from an awful lot of the images, because when you look at the storyboards, you can see the development of their ideas all the way through, right from the original, trying to drag out of them the kind of some of their ideas and stuff. And once we'd explained all that, they were great. They were really good, and they pulled out all the stops, didn't they? I mean, they were excellent. They stayed behind after school, and you know, they were really enthusiastic.
Yeah, that line there allows you to change the size of it. So just drag down and you can change the size of that object. Their ease with technology and their desire to engage with it was such that they'd just shoot off and start making, you know, patterns and shapes and objects, which is really fantastic to see. You know, you really didn't have to push them into learning the technology. You just had to show them a few pointers and then unleash them on it, if you like.
In Cornwall, the pupils are into the third stage of their interactive fishing game. Using their drawings as a guide, they're building 3D versions of the sea creatures out of a framework of withies covered with tissue paper. And now they're going to video themselves.
Okay, so she's going to be jumping up and down quite a lot, so we need to sort of take that quite wide so that we can see it. When you find the right picture, when you find the right size, then we want to lock it off so it doesn't move, because Nick's going to have to cut out the image of you from the blue background, so we must make sure the camera doesn't move. We built a chroma key blue studio in the classroom next door, and for a whole day we had a little TV studio in there, and they had their faces painted up and their hair dyed in some cases, and they came in and they filmed it, so they learnt how to operate the camera as well. That's good. Okay, now, to focus, you turn this from side to side. So I want you to do that until the picture becomes sharp.
Okay, so we're going to need some...
Not content with designing a game for the calendar, the Parc Eglos children want to build in rewards for users who complete it. So if you catch 5 fish, you hear a poem. One of Laura's colleagues, Phil Innes, is helping out with recording and editing.
Rolling. All I want is to be the best of friends forever and ever until the world ends. Even if it is not what you do, I really want to be friends with you.
Phil came in and worked with them on doing some sound effects for all of their creatures, doing monster noises and things, as well as reading a poem, because they'd actually decided that the prize for getting so far in the game was going to be hearing a poem.
You're too lazy and I hate your skin. You have no place to rule. You come from a time opposite to mine, so your face is full of wrinkles.
The final piece of the digital jigsaw is put into place by Nick Harpley. He animated the images and electronically crafted it to make the game Transform a Fish. And in Bristol, the media artists from Plug-in Cinema created a front page for the Withywood students' work to complete their animation of morphing Christmas gifts.
Don't forget your books.
So after months of hard but very creative and collaborative work, the Electric December calendar is ready to go online. Children from Bristol link up live with Cornwall for the big launch. It's a fantastic success. But what do the pupils feel about it?
Well, we just wanted to start off with something that's really nice and simple, which is the Christmas tree, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we sort of took the main elements of the Christmas tree and changed it into something really evil.
What contribution did you make? Did you tone it down a bit, do you think? Normally you just put work on walls in galleries if you're lucky. You know, there's a few open exhibitions for schools in Bristol, but this goes much further than that. They rise to the challenge quite significantly, and they do produce some good ideas. And I'm looking back through 5 or 6 years of different sorts of ideas and different age ranges of pupils, and they always respond in a very positive manner. And I think it's to their credit, as well as to the power of Electric December as a motivational tool, I think.
At the other end of the live web link in Cornwall, the pupils from Parc Eglos Primary enjoy showing their fish game to the others.
I think so many people, adults or children, rarely have an opportunity to view or show their work creatively. And so it's a fantastic opportunity for young people to be working on a project that's then accessible by friends and family. So I think that's one of the most exciting things about it.
I really enjoyed it because I love making it's really fun making the big models, and everything that we've done is just brilliant, and we've come so far from when we first started.
It's amazing because when you go on there you actually see your own fish. You click on the fish and it's your fish, and it's got you, actually in the pool.
I'd be interested in doing more filming because I find that really interesting, and you get to see all the different designs, whereas if you're not filming you just get to see a couple of designs.
Right, so this is the end. My final question to you is, have you all enjoyed the project?
Yes!
Fabulous. Would you do something similar again given the opportunity?
Yes! Definitely.
Okay, that's brilliant.
If you want to check out the Advent calendar yourself and sample all the delights inside, you can find it at www.electricdecember.org.